Teenage Mutant Leonardo, Teenage Mutant Donatello, Teenage Mutant Michelangelo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Raphael, Teenage Mutant Leonardo, Teenage Mutant. That's this latest episode of What's Been Stuck in My Head This Week. It's been that all week long, day after long fucking day. It's been that. Teenage Mutant Leonardo, Teenage Mutant Donatello, Teenage Mutant Michelangelo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Raphael, Teenage Mutant Leonardo, Teenage Mutant Donatello, Teenage Mutant Michelangelo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Raphael. The missionaries, the goddamned Mormon missionaries. They're at it again. They're out there. Keep your eyes open. Don't let them get you. They'll get you. Oh, they'll get you. They'll get you. They'll convert you to their ways. They'll induct you into their cult, and you'll become one of them, like the Borg, but much, much less sexy. This was almost a scary interaction with the Mormon missionaries. I don't see them too often, but they're out there. They're around. I do see them. I've seen them when they're like, I've walked past them as they're talking to someone else, so I've sort of managed to avoid them in that respect. I've had them sort of not stop but try to stop me. Like they're walking towards me and then they kind of stop a little bit and they're like, "Oh, hey, good morning, how are you?" And I just walk past like, "Nah, not oh, you fine. Oh, you can try, but you know. But so this latest interaction, I was coming back from town. I turned the corner onto my street that I live on, and I almost fucking bump right into the goddamn Mormon missionaries. These two young, supple, nubile, clean, soft, smooth young lads. I could just fucking... typically, they're about 19 to 20 years old. Between the ages of 19 to 21. If you're going to become a missionary, it's traditionally at about the age of 19, and you do it for 2 years. So 19 to 20, 21, that kind of age. That's what they are, that delicious young age. Young boys of that age. But it could never work. We're from two different worlds, them and I. It would never work. I've tried having a Christian girlfriend, and it's a Mormon girlfriend even, and it's just, it cannot work. I'm far too sinful and heretical for that to ever work. It's like a rat trying to date a fucking slightly more upmarket rat. Anyway, on my street, I've never seen missionaries anywhere close to my street before. There's more to that in a bit coming up, or we'll get to that. So they sort of stop in front of me, sort of in front of me, next to me. They're not blocking my path, but they stop and they say, "Oh, are you having a good day, sir?" Sir, they call me sir now because I'm older, I guess. And I kept walking. I didn't look at them, and I just said no, and I kept walking. And then they said, "Oh, have a good day, sir." And I, again, didn't look at them, but I gave them one of these. I threw this up about head height as I was walking past, like, "Stick this up you fucking Mormon bastards." And then I was tempted to, like, what I've done before if I felt like people are following me, because sometimes I get paranoid. So if this line down the middle of the sketchbook is my that really straight line is my road. If this is the top of the road and I live about here, and then there's like roads all over the place. What I have done before, because I get paranoid sometimes, is I'll walk. This is my house. I'll walk past it, and I'll walk around and back up and around this, because town is this way. So I walk like this, and this corner is where I bumped into the missionaries, almost right by my house. So I'll walk this way and then come back around down this road and turn the corner and go back. I was tempted to do that again, being that I'd seen the missionaries so close. I didn't want them to like stand there and watch where I go to see where I live. But I mean, I didn't do that, but it seems even if I did do that, it might not have helped, because a couple of days later I check my mail, the little like metal mini post box that my letters go in outside my building, which I don't check nearly as often as I ought to, but you know, whatever. And in amongst them, I should have kept it to show, but I threw it away because I was disgusted by it. There was a little card, and on the front of the card, is a picture of like the Salt Lake Temple or whatever in Utah, the grand, like the fucking Mormon temple. And on the back was the handwritten note that said, "Hi Ewan, this is the missionaries. We stopped by to see how you're doing. If you need anything, feel free to give us a call." And then he put like a mobile number. They were at my house. They know where I live. Which means the literally only explanation for that is my mum had obviously said to them, "Oh, if you're the missionaries in Southampton," because all the missionaries in like the Hampshire area will sort of like talk and coordinate, and they have gatherings and stuff. All the Mormons do, so it's quite common that Mormons from different cities will speak to the missionaries in different cities. So my mum obviously said, "Oh, you're the Mormons you're the missionaries, obviously the Mormons. You're the missionaries from Southampton. My son lives in Southampton. Here's his address. Go and see him." Which means they would have like knocked on my door or rung the doorbell of the building or whatever. And I wasn't in, so they left a little card saying, "Hey, give us a call if you need anything." Which, in one respect, is nice and kind, because they do that. They do acts of service is a big thing in the Mormon Church. But it's so they can induct you into their cult. And I was disgusted by it. I thought that's horrendous. Like, that's the sort of thing that's like, I think I'm going to have a talk with my mum about that. About, like, sure, okay, they're Mormon missionaries. They wouldn't mean any harm, and if they did sort of come around to my home, it would be with good intentions. But like, you don't just give my address to strangers. I don't want anyone coming around. I've put effort into not having guests. You can't just... I was genuinely fucking angry and a little like caught off guard that my mum would just do that, just like, "Oh, it's it's fine. Ewan's just lonely. Go and see Ewan. He could do with the company. I'll just give the missionaries my son's home address so they can go and bother him when he's at his most vulnerable." Like, sure, thanks for that. Just why stop at the missionaries? Just give it to anyone and everyone you come across. They might all be nice. Who knows? Why not? Why bloody not? Why stop there? Just give out my address. Who gives a fuck? And like I say, that's like, I might have to have a talk with my mum about that. I don't want to have to bring that shit up. Did you tell the missionaries to fucking come and visit me? Yeah, don't do that. I don't want that. I cannot express just how much I don't want that to happen. And the fact that I saw them on the corner, which means they that was probably right after they put the fucking thing in my mailbox. They timed that one fucking. Well, I guess they could have timed it better because I could have actually been in, but even if I was, I wouldn't have answered the door. Come on. I can just about see down to the front door of the building from my bedroom window. So I would have almost certainly seen that it's fucking Mormons at my door. And I'd have gotten tins of beans and soup and thrown full baked bean cans down at them. Get the fuck away from my house! That would have been funny, wouldn't it? Ooh. The nerve to just fucking give out my address like that. What the fuck is happening? We got our whole lives. Don't talk to strangers. Don't give your information out to anyone you don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, but they're Mormons, so it's fine. They can have all your details. Your home address, your itinerary. They'll follow you through the streets and see what you're buying. They'll pick your receipts up when you drop them on the floor. Fuck's sake, man. I almost do sometimes want to stop and talk to them just to, like, grab them and be like, it's not too late. You can leave. You can get away from this. You're 19. I'm sure you have doubts about it all. It's not too late to leave. Get out while you can. But they probably have a sweet girl back home. And the sweet, sweet Mormon young lady will only want to date a returned missionary, will only want to marry a returned missionary. So they've got to go on a mission so they can have babies with the hot young Mormon lady. Bless him. Yeah, I think that sometimes, like, oh, maybe I'll talk to them just for a few minutes and just sort of tell them to run away. But then, yeah, it's not going to do any good, is it? Anyway, what else have you been obsessed with this week, Ewan? Well, let me tell you. Oh, shit, I meant to have this lined up. Wait. Let's just Mormons, poo. Mormons. They all eat lots of poo. Poo. Mormon. Oh. Wait, no, shit, fuck. I need to time this right. Oh, what else have you been obsessed with this week, Ewan? Well, I'll tell you. Girls. That's the Beastie Boys song. Girls, in which they aren't really that kind towards girls. It's a little bit demeaning. But that was the younger, sort of young, immature Beastie Boys, which their output at the time did sort of reflect their youngness, their youth and their immaturity. And they did grow up and mature, and they even sort of put out an apology in a song saying, we'd like to apologise to all the women and mums and daughters because, sorry about that. Which is fine, but that's irrelevant. I've been obsessed with girls this week. But a very specific type of girls. I don't know, but I think they're either like Puerto Rican or Brazilian or maybe Argentinian. I know very little. I know nothing about geography, but I know they're not Mexicans because I know a Mexican when I see one. I'm intimately acquainted with Mexicans and their culture. So I know they're not Mexican, but they are of that variety, like Latina. And so what I've done just drawings and drawings of slightly obsessed, and also car crashes. But they're like, so they all got, not all, but like a lot of the ones I'm seeing have like all the same sort of look, and I really like it. I like the look a lot. It's dark hair, which is really, I like dark hair in general because when I draw comics, I like to draw hair as just a black shape because I fucking hate drawing hair. Like I love red hair with like curly, like big curly red hair, like Brave from Brave in the film Brave, about the Brave. But like I love that hair in real life, and blondes are okay, I guess. But when it comes to drawing that hair, there's just fucking just details. And, ugh. But when it's hair like this, just a black shape, love it. But they all have that hair and like nice clothes. They all take a lot of selfies. They might have like a piercing here and or like here or a nose piercing or something. And they all have quite, you know, in a nice way, big noses and big asses. So they balance out because they've got like a big nose on this end and then a big ass on this end. So it balances out, which is really cool. Very, very pretty young ladies. And I think I do have to call them young ladies because I realise as I'm aging, if I talk about people I'm drawing, if I say I'm drawing naked girls, that really, like, as a mid to late 30s-year-old man, if I say I'm drawing naked girls, it's a little bit, you know, it feels a bit, you know. So, ladies, women, young ladies, lovely young ladies that I'm drawing, and I'm not even drawing them naked, you know. And when I say they've got like big noses and big asses, and absolutely none of this is fetishization. I'm not fetishizing any of this. It's not a kink. It's nothing sexual at all. It's purely aesthetic, because I love their aesthetic. I think they're gorgeous and beautiful and amazing. I love them, and I've followed so many of them now. And maybe that's not great, but like, because I saw one on my Instagram Explore page, and I was like, oh, hey, I like her hair. It's like nice. Because you get to do that with the hair, where you do that and you do that, and it makes a nice sort of blend with the hair. It's really like a nice smooth sort of shine. I like that. And I screenshotted it as I was like, oh, I might draw that because she's, you know, pretty, and I like the aesthetic, I like the vibe. And then, of course, because that's how the algorithm works, that's why if you click on something you don't like, but you're looking at it just out of like spiteful intrigue as to like, oh, what's this fucker saying now? And you click on it and you see what this fucker's saying and you go, ugh. And so you click away from it. But because you clicked on it, the algorithm goes, oh, I guess you like that. Here's loads more of it. But you don't like that. You fucking hate it. You only clicked on it because you hate it. You don't want to see more of it, but the algorithm assumes you do, so it shows you more of it. But that happens with things like this as well. It sees, oh, you like this kind of girl? Here's loads more. So there was a couple of days where my Explore page on Instagram was entirely, it would be these sorts of girls and some cats and like a pregnant woman in a bikini, and that is sexual and fetishized, but this isn't. I really like their looks. I think they're brilliant. They're a brilliant vibe. Also, what I really like, again aesthetically, is that's why I think it's like Brazil or somewhere, because I know Brazil has the favelas, which are like slums kind of, but they all take selfies in their, I guess, bedroom mirrors or whatever, and they all live in what look like concrete huts, because they've got like bare concrete walls and floors with like cracks and bare bricks and stuff and water damage and pipes and cables and stuff, and like a fairly ratty looking curtain just put up, and a bed with like nice sheets and pillows and stuff, but it looks like they live in like these bare concrete almost bunkers, but in amongst that they have nice hair, nice makeup and nice clothes. They have internet and phones, and they listen to loud club music. That's all in like sort of, I guess, Spanish and Puerto Rican and stuff. But I think they're fantastic, and I'm in love with them, but in like purely from a visual standpoint, because I think they're great to draw. I think they're fantastic. And I mean, look at this sketchbook, it's almost empty. Look at that. So I might just fill the last few pages with these lovely women that I'm drawing as purely nice things to draw. And then that will be that. It's not a fetish. It's not. Teenage Mutant Ultra Mega, Teenage Mutant Ultra Mega, Teenage Mutant Ultra Mega, Ultra Mega. I need a drink, sorry. I'm ruining myself from the inside out. The new Ultra Mega came out today, and I got it today on the day it came out, today. And it's just come out today, and I got it today on the day that it just came out. Today, I've had a quick flick through it, as I am wont to do, and it's as good as the last one. The end. It's good. The drawings are really good. Story, I don't know, it's whatever, but there's some really, really fun artwork in it. Oh, excuse me. That's fun. I don't know. There's so many. A lot of this newer Ultra Mega, the previous issue and this issue. I said it in looking at it last time, but it feels like he's having a lot more just loose fun with the drawings, because it feels like there's a lot more stuff like this, like just the person sitting on the beanbag. Just funny little, not funny drawings, but, you know, it's got funny little drawings. Rather than copiously detailed, gritty drawings or fucking whatever. Some really, really good art, some really good panels. Some Neon Genesis Evangelion, Jelly Angel, Neon Jellians. Very vibes there. The brushwork, the splatters, the texture, the grit, the movement, the art of it all. Very, very, very good. Very, very good. Very, very, very good. Very good indeed. I like the contrast between the light and dark as well, because they're obviously in this, like, I don't know, some penthouse suite or whatever with this guy who I assume is helping them do something. So there's a lot of, like, empty, clean white space. And then you get into like the dark nighttime, gritty, visceral cityscapes, and it's darker, visually darker. And there's a little bit more of this, which was in the last one, which I really liked, which I probably won't be able to find now. I think it's towards the end. There was one particular bit I pointed out that I liked. That was a great bit of like world building with very, very minimal sort of imagery shown. Here, exactly this little bus stop or tram stop, a little tram here with people in gas masks. That's just how they're living in this sort of, I don't know, dystopian world with giant monster phlegm glooped on everything. In this the ultra megapolis, the endless city, this maze of a metropolis, this overbuilt, crowded city, people living in gas masks because it's obviously kind of toxic or whatever. And that panel in amongst, you know, the others is such good world building. There's so much going on with just such a small piece of the whole thing. And as sort of makes sense, we're expanding upon that. So you get more of these little folk in their gas masks and the tram lines and everything. And you get their language, which is really, really cool. Obviously, it's not the only place that's done that, but Electric Pick's little book, the Mars graphic novel he made, where all the language in that is made up. It's not a real language, it's just shapes and signals, just like this, where it's just almost seemingly random symbols as they're talking an alien language that you don't know. I really like that. I think that's a really neat sort of storytelling trick thing to do. It's really cool. The tram's coming, and then boom! I don't know what the fuck that was. Something fall out of the sky? Maybe? Slam next. At first I thought this little guy, maybe a kid, got hit by the tram. But no, I think maybe it's this guy falling out of the sky and then bouncing away. But yeah, I thought these were just random shapes, but then there's a couple like reused glyphs or whatever that you want to call them. So it might be an actual thing. He like made a font and typed it out, or maybe he just copy and pasted it. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, do I? Yeah, like that's a really cool shot in anything, in animations or movies or whatever. Just the people on the train or tram or whatever, and then one kid with his hands on the glass looking up at something that no one else notices, but there's this giant thing falling out of the sky. Maybe it's a tooth, because they are giant fucking creatures. Maybe he had his tooth knocked out and it felt it, because it kind of looks like a tooth. Maybe it's a tooth. A tooth, as some people say. That's a cool shot. All the evil ultra megas. That's a very, very cool shot. That would be a cool like sketchbook page. Just if you were just doodling and you came up with that sort of thing. This is cool. I don't know if this is just some rubbish tip or something with something in it. Some fucking monster mega guy. I don't know. I kind of want to read it, and I might read it, but I might wait until it's all. I assume it'll be 3 or 4 issues. When it's all out, I might sit and read it all the way through. I love this guy. Love that guy. Big head, alien man, mega monastery. Cousins, news from the mega monastery. I guess that's where they are. I don't know. Really fucking cool drawings though. Cool hatching, like almost messy hatching, but like it's good to see some hatching. I feel like you don't see a lot of hatching in modern comics. Which, you know, just fucking whatever. Love this. I really, really do like this. I guess that's this guy. Unite for your king. And then he unites them by cramming them all into this fucking block. I really like that a lot. I used to draw a lot of globes, a lot of balls. Like I like drawing balls made up of like cities, like skyscrapers and buildings and stuff. I've been tempted to do some more of those because I think I could make some really cool drawings like that. But also drawing like internal organs like lungs, liver, stomach, intestines and everything, but in like smushed into a ball. That was quite fun to draw. And this reminds me of that, where it's all these guys crammed into a shape. I like how they're like bent and squashed and stretched, and the red eyes glowing all over it are really, really good. And the speech bubbles with just fucking scribbles in them, just them going, "Argh!" As you can see them here all being like bent and twisted and cracked, and they're clearly not enjoying it. How our crusade begins. And more scenes from this city. I really like this. The really thin alleyway, someone hanging out the window with a cigarette, which is funny because he's wearing a gas mask, but it's a fucking cigarette. One of them coming up the stairs with some shopping, just hanging out like in slums or whatever. Like in Brazilian favelas. And the ultra megas just hanging out on the roofs. The block of guys. This guy, he looks like Rorschach, doesn't he, from The Watchmen, with his coat and hat and mysterious face falling from somewhere. Don't know what he's doing. This is cool. He goes into a bar, whoever the fuck he is. Turns out it's Ultra Mega! And all the people in the bar are fucking monsters. That's a really cool scene. It's a cool scene anyway, just like a bar scene full of weird looking people, like, you know, the Mos Eisley cantina in the Star film with all the wars in it. But it's all fucking freaky monsters, and they're all really cool little designs of weird freaky little monsters. I love them all. I think they're great. Oh, I just need to draw a bunch of monsters. Brilliant, fine, fun. Just draw a bunch of silly little guys. I guess it was these people and they all turned into the monsters. Because they all look like just sort of Kind of spooky, eerie looking people, and then suddenly they're all monsters. They all look great. Weird bug looking monsters. Some of them still wearing like trousers and skirts and things. It's good shit, man. It's good shit. And he's been out doing his shopping. I love his disguise. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they have their disguises, the big coats and hats. And no one will know that they're actually mutant turtle men. And he's buying what I guess is some kind of medicine canisters or something that he puts up his nose to help him. I don't know. Remembering the fallen, some kind of memorial to the people who died from the Ultra Mega, I guess. Him chilling in his room. Hey, it's just like me. In my room, in the dark. Pipes and tubes! I love pipes and tubes. And James Harron draws some really fucking good pipes and tubes. I've got a few pipes and tubes in the latest upcoming issue of Gun Viking, which I will finish someday. I'm hoping to get it done by the end of the year. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, love me some pipes and some tubes. Akira has really good pipes and tubes, or Akira. Sorry, my apologies. I pronounce it right. Love pipes and tubes. Love cardboard boxes and things. Detritus, rubble and trash, garbage and whatnot. Stuff packed onto the back of a rat. That's really, really cool. There's a little guy. Psst. Quickly, before we're spotted. And they've got like a giant suit, a giant robot suit for the little... Because it was at the end of the previous issue. The little people landed. Greetings, Earthling. We're here to assist with your giant monster problem. So they obviously made friends with the rat. And now the rats are like helping them carry stuff to build their mech suit. So they can go out and do shit. I love they've got like boxes that they've obviously turned into like housing for themselves, which is really, really cool. It's really, really fun. It's fun ideas, fun designs, fun drawings. I really like that a lot. The monsters in the bar getting beat the fuck up, getting holes punched through them. That's a great like dish out of the bar. That's a really cool little scene. Just a great like... It almost has Mignola vibes about it. The action pose and then all the monsters just fucking screaming and yelling, getting their fucking brains punched out. That's so great. The guy's head, the giant mouth and the thing coming out and the whole thing crashing through a door. He's got him, but Ultra Mega kicks him. This guy squirts acid on him. He's melting his arm. Damn it! This thing bites his head. Oh, okay, so he's growing, but his arm fucking juts out and boosh, fucks that guy up. And he's censored his penis with a little Ultra Mega head. That's really funny. That's a really funny little detail. Giant robots. Kaiju alert. Omg. Crash, smash, bash. Kaiju alert. Kaiju alert. This is bad. Ultra Mega's gonna have to fight some fucking mechs. All these guys. What's going on? Adverts, adverts. That's really cool as well. Next issue, and then some black and white artwork. as a like a teaser for the next issue. I really, really like that. Instead of just showing like the cover of the next issue or a page, show some of like the black and white artwork. That's really, really, really decent. Did they do that in the previous one? Oh, it did. No, he didn't. No, it was. Okay. Don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, it's so fun. Like every page has something cool to look at, and some pages have a lot of cool shit to look at. That's a great couple of pages, like back and forth fighting. The movement's good as well because he's moving this way, then that way, and then this way, and that way, and then this way. This way. I try to do that with some of my comics. I've managed to do that in a few of my comics where like I'm sort of cognizant enough as I'm making it. Sometimes I sit there and I just try to draw the thing, and if it looks good, brilliant. But sometimes I am sort of thoughtful enough to like go, no, wait, make it go this way and that way. Because that it makes sense because even if you're just looking at the images, you move this way with it, and then if it starts again moving this way in the next panel, you've got to move back here and then back here. Whereas if it's going this way then this way, you can follow it through in like one line or something. That's pretty cool, isn't it? The cover of that, I carved the black covering away just to leave the card for the gobshite, and then I carved the square out, painted in. Oh, excuse me, the goblin. It's a little bit of a nod to the Lobo cover with the. Do I have? Oh, I do. To the. Yeah, kind of, sort of. But yeah, I was really happy with that. I think it's cool. And like I say, almost finished, almost ready for a tour of this here sketchbook. I'll draw some more of these very fine young women that I am not interested in sexually whatsoever. It's purely aesthetic reasons. I like their style and their vibe. And sure, they're big asses, but also they're big noses. In a good, like, because those big, like, I guess they call them like Roman or Greek noses, where they have the it juts outwards instead of scooping down. I like that. They look good. They're fun to draw. And these girls, wherever they're from, I might look into it. I might try to find out, but. Yeah, they're great. I like them. They're good. I like them. I think they're good. Yeah, that'll do. That's good enough. The 300th episode's coming up. I mean, eventually. I don't know if this is like 277 or 278 or something. Episode of the podcast. Who knew I'd still be going for this long? And but I was thinking of like, I feel like I should do something for the 300th episode. I don't have any ideas in particular. I know for the 200th I did a two-parter, so it was 200 part 1 as one episode and then 200 part 2 as a separate episode, but they sort of went together. It was all Jet Set Radio-ish. And then for issue 200 issue. Have I been saying issue? I mean episode. If I've been saying issue, I apologise. Episode 250, I think that was the 12-hour one. And how can I top that, really? I mean, you can't. No one can. You can't beat a 12-hour podcast episode. Unless you do it, but... Well, I was going to say, unless you do it, but interesting. Mine was interesting. Mine's really good. It's one of my most viewed... Or it probably is my most viewed podcast episode. So that's something, isn't it? You don't get a most viewed podcast episode if it's not good. Although I assume most people are watching it just out of, like, bafflement of, like, wait, what? Did he really make a 12-hour podcast episode, and then they watch it for like a minute and go, "Oh, it's just this for 12 hours." Yeah, I get it. But that still counts as a view, so I can't be too mad about that. But then I did think it's 300, maybe a 3-hour episode. Not as ridiculous as a 12-hour episode. I'm not going to do a 3-parter. Because then a 4-parter, then a 5-part, then it'd be silly. But yeah, 3-hour, like a 3-hour episode. That's not too ridiculous, is it? I even thought I might try to do a painting, like a decent painting. Because I can do a fairly okay painting in like an hour or so. I'll do an even better one in a couple of hours. So in 3 hours for a painting, that's pretty fucking reasonable, isn't it? So I'm thinking that's what I might do for the 300th episode. But I did have another idea, which I don't know basically, I thought I could do a video where I watch all of my previous episodes. Because, YouTubers will do that, where they'll be like, oh, cringing at my old videos. And it's like an edited thing where they look at clips from some of their old videos and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I looked like that. Oh, I can't believe I thought that was funny. But I think mine would be more in line with, when Shia LaBeouf did, he watched all his old films, and it was like, I guess he did it as like a performance art piece almost. I have a weird thing with Shia LaBeouf because I sort of go back and forth between finding him to be irritatingly pretentious or just sort of annoying, and then sometimes I feel like, not that I get him, but like he does things where I'm like, I get that. As a person expressing yourself through art or action or whatever, like, yeah, I totally understand where he's coming from. And some people, see things he does and they're like, oh, he's just being fucking weird. Why doesn't he fucking chill out? He's got, he's rich and famous. Why can't he just... And that's another thing is, ultimately he's a very rich, very famous person. So, like, rich people get to make art. That's why I'm so unimpressed when it's like, oh, look at Jim Carrey's paintings or fucking whoever else. Pierce Brosnan paints. Fucking the guy who played Hannibal, whatever his stupid name is, the old man, Hannibal man. I feel bad that is it Anthony something? It's not Anthony Hopkins, is it? Is it Anthony Hopkins? Anthony Hopkins. It is Anthony Hopkins. Is it Anthony Hopkins? I can only see a tiny picture. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. He paints, and his paintings look like shit. But the problem with those people is they get to make art. They are allowed to have all the time and space and materials in the world to do what they want to do. To go, I think I'll make an art today. Ooh, let's throw some paint around. Let's make some marks on a thing. And let's call it an art. Look, let's have a gallery show. Let's get articles written about my art because of... But, like, it's the same as, fucking podcasters talking about having the products that they're, sponsored by. Like, yeah, of course you've got the products because they fucking sent them to you. Of course you made art because you can, because you've got all the fucking everything going for you with regards to, like, being able to spend time making art. And that's why your art fucking sucks, because the good art comes from when almost you can't make art. That's why I think some of my best art was made when I was still working. Like the first few issues of Gun Viking were made when I had a job, a full-time fucking day job. But I was determined to make art because I had to make art. And that's the difference between, like, artists and celebrities who do art is artists make art because they have to, because it's all they've got. It's the thing they have in their lives is to make art, and they can't do anything else. So everything they do revolves around trying to get time enough to make some art. But then you get fucking celebrities and rich kids and just rich people in general making art just because they can. Oh, I'll just do some art. Sure, so set up a gallery show. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'll just do that. No, and it's all fucking shit because there's no real feeling in it. You know, it's just you're looking at someone's fucking, may as well be a stamp collection. You're just looking at someone's pastime, literally what they're doing to pass the time. Sure, you know, everyone has trauma in their lives, everyone has issues, and maybe they are finally able to take the time to work through some of that through the medium of art. Sure. But you can also fuck off. Like, fund some art. How about that? Instead of spending all your time in your fucking high-rise penthouse suite in your fucking mansion in the hills of Hollywood, painting in a well-lit studio that's all purpose-built with fucking shelves and shelves full of all the paints and brushes you'll ever need, instead of indulging in all of that shit, how about you use your money and fund some fucking artworks made by real people with real fucking struggles in their lives? How about that, you cunts, you fucking rich bastard cunts? And so that's kind of how I feel about Shia LaBeouf. Like, I don't even know if his name's pronounced that way. I don't know. I'll call him that for the sake of argument. Like, part of me is very much like, he's a rich person who gets to make art when he wants, and he gets to do what he wants when he wants. So fuck him in that respect. But at the same time, you know, he was, whether it was by choice or otherwise, you know, he was sort of thrust into fame from a very young age. I remember watching Even Stevens with him in it, and I thought he was fucking hilarious. And he is. He's always been a really genuinely funny guy in like early movies he was in as a kid and stuff. He's a good actor, and he is genuinely funny, which obviously helped with becoming rich and famous and a movie star or whatever. But I think he does have a spark to him. I will say that, because you know, and some people do, you know, but he's still a rich cunt, and he should do something about it. But that is to say, sometimes when he makes his art, I can see it's coming from a human place rather than strictly from a rich person wanting to make an art kind of space. It's just he has the benefit of being a rich person who gets to make art. So it sort of is kind of tinged with that, unfortunately. But he did do watching all of his films, and I think it was over the course of several days, and he watched, I assume, all of the films he'd ever made. I've only ever seen a couple of clips and a couple of images from that. I don't know if I care to sit and watch the entire piece, if it can be called that. I know there's a bunch of videos online of like hours and hours long stretches of him watching his films with various audiences and things. And there are parts where he's laughing, parts where he's just sort of chilling, parts where he's sleeping, parts where he's crying. And that's the thing, is because that piece has got to be a really, like, because any drawings I've ever made, any art I've ever made, I can look back at it and I sort of, any drawing basically I've ever done, when I look at it, I have a sense of where and when I was when that drawing was created. And the drawing might have some kind of meaning to me. It might be I put emotion into it. It might just be a funny idea I had. But every piece I've made has some kind of, it is some kind of record of who I am and where I was at that particular point in time. And so there are certain artworks that I'll, you know, of mine that I'll look at that will trigger certain memories and feelings. So if you've worked in movies for like most of your life, and you've got a huge back catalogue that you can spend days and days watching, that's got to be like that times a billion. Like every film you've been in is a record of a year or years of your time at a time, when you were surrounded by people, forming relationships and friendships with people, maybe the opposite of that. So you could be watching any film at any given time that you've been in, and each bit of that film could spark different memories and different feelings. You might have been having a terrible time during certain films, and you watch it back and it might bring all that up. It might, reignite all those memories and bring all those feelings back to you. You just weren't in a good headspace, you weren't getting on with the cast and crew or whatever, you just weren't having a good time. And it can bring all that up, and that can make you emotional. And then on the opposite end, you might be watching a film and you had an absolute killer time making it, just an absolute blast. You got on with everyone, it was fun, maybe you made new friends, maybe you worked with old friends, and that could make you emotional. That could bring up tears just for remembering the good times. That maybe you're watching films that feature people that aren't around anymore, that you were maybe close to, that have passed away. I don't know if there is any of that in Shia LaBeouf's films, but it's got to be a weird thing, and it is a very interesting idea as like an art piece to sort of go back. I think most of us, sort of think about the idea of hell, heaven, an afterlife where you get to sort of look back on your life, you get to rewatch clips of it or whatever. And I think that's sort of one reason everyone likes to film themselves doing things, because they love the idea of like being able to look back on certain moments and things, which I'm a bit about. But people who are in many, many movies over years and years and years, they almost do get to do that. Like, they get to see the movies as they are, which are obviously scripted and whatever, but then they're a human being, and at that time they were feeling certain ways and in certain situations with certain people. Maybe some negative, some positive, but so the idea of literally watching back videos of your life over however many years, it's a very interesting art piece, and I have some kind of level of respect for that. And the issue there is, I can say, oh, rich people being rich people, but like most normal people couldn't make that as an art piece, because most normal people haven't been in a shitload of films over the years, so they don't have that record kept of their lives. So I kind of, I'm at least a little bit intrigued by that, as an art piece. And also the whole, it's obviously memed to death, but like the whole Shia LaBeouf with the green screen behind him, and he's going, "Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. Do it." Like, love or hate the guy, he's right. Like, it's a fairly powerful message, and it's in my head fairly regularly. Every now and then someone will ask me about, like, oh, how do you make a comic? How do you sit there and draw a comic? How do you find the time? To draw it's so much work to make a comic, to do this, to do that. And all I can tell them, without trying not to be the meme, is just do it. You have to sit down and you have to make the thing that you want to make. Just do it. Again, it's easier for certain people in certain positions to just do things, to not let their dreams be dreams. I don't know who Shia LaBeouf's family is. He was a child actor, so I don't know if he was like had connections already and then was lucky enough to be put into a position where he could be an actor. There are so few genuine like working class actors like in any country. They pretty much all come from some level of privilege, some level of like highly paid schooling and whatever else, which is always a shame. I almost sounded like I was about to start crying, which I wasn't, but it's funny that it sounded like that. So I don't know. I may be wrongly, but I kind of assume Shia LaBeouf had a fairly privileged upbringing. I don't know, so I apologise if that's completely incorrect. So I always get a bit annoyed when like people from privileged backgrounds say, "Don't let your dreams be dreams, just do it." And it's like, it's not as easy as that for most people. But at the same time, if you are able to sit and draw a comic, it's not always as easy as that. You know, I never feel like I've been in. I mean, I'm in a privileged position in terms of like the country I live in, and probably my skin color and my gender help me in various points and various times. But monetarily, upbringingly, working classingly, I've very, very rarely had an ounce of actual privilege. So anything I've done has been where I've been sort of scraping to get by and just managing to find time to make a thing and put it out there. So I guess I can be glad for that, but I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. All of that is to say, I thought it would be fun could be fun for me to watch back 300 episodes of my podcast, each being around about an hour long, some more, some less, but on average, if we say about an hour long. One of them's 12 hours long. 200th episode was 2 episodes. So that would take a while, and I don't think it would be fun for anyone to watch but me. Although, even then, I was going to say, there might be times where I cringe. But there might, every now and again I'll watch an episode back because someone will comment on an old episode saying, haha, this time code, something, 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 laughing at something I said. And I'll be like, what the fuck are they talking about? So I'll click on the time code and I'll go and watch the bit of the video they were talking about. And I'll go, ha, that is actually very funny. Aren't I very, very funny? Brilliant. I love me. I'm good. I'm funny. Ha, 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 ha. And then I might watch more of the episode. I might just keep watching it from that point and be like, wow, I really was funny. What happened? Where did I lose it? When did I stop being funny? Probably when I went woke, innit? I went woke and now I'm not funny anymore. But yeah, I think it would almost be, for me at least, amusing to watch back all my episodes. I don't know. There probably is bound to be some cringe moments where I think I'm being funny or I'm trying to make a point about something, trying to be like serious and make a point about something, and then ultimately it's just like, shut up. Just fucking shut up and draw the shit you're drawing. I don't know, that would be a thing as well, is I'd look at the art I'm drawing in each episode and I'd be like, ugh, the fuck was that? I should have given up on that one and not bothered. I don't know. It was just an idea. Still could be a fun idea to do, but we'll see. I haven't thought of a way to close this episode. But look, pretty girls from somewhere. I'm gonna say Argentina. I feel Argentina for some reason. Aren't they pretty? Aren't they such pretty girls? Women, young women that I'm not sexually interested in at all. Pure, it's just I like to draw them because look how nice, pretty they are in drawings, and that's all of that.